So, yeah, we're familiar with this, right? We've seen this before. I just want to kind of reference it again so that we're clear on what exactly is going on. So, we've been working on kind of the top half of our faces so far. And there's a lot of expression to be had there at the top half of the face, right? You have hair, eyes, and eyebrows. Those are all assignments that we pretty much turned in already. Right, but so a lot of expressions there. Eyes obviously carry a lot of emotional weight. Also eyebrows, right? You can do I don't know. There's a lot of things you can do with your face, obviously, but a lot of them have to do with what's kind of at the top half of your face. What we're trying to work on now is kind of the bottom half of your face, and for that, that could mean a few different things for a few different people. So these are all examples, like I said, that you've seen before, but just want to kind of point out the different ways that people have kind of illustrated the bottom half of the face, because it can go kind of wrong in my opinion. So I just want to kind of show you how I've done it, and hopefully you can use that information to make your own selfie sticker look good. So, yeah, first thing, so mouth is kind of something we haven't talked about yet. If you don't have a mask on in your photo, the mouth is definitely something we want to talk about and work on, and maybe we'll talk about that more on a like Thursday or Friday. But what we're doing today is just trying to kind of separate the face from the rest of the body, which is kind of important, just so you don't have like a giraffe situation, right? So sometimes if you don't illustrate where the face separates from the neck and separates from the body, you get something that looks kind of strange, right? You get something that maybe looks like your face is just floating in the middle of a background, or you get something that looks like your neck is a little too long or your face is too long, right? It kind of messes with the whole aesthetic of the sticker. So there are a couple ways to do that. Here are two different ways you have if you're fortunate enough in your photo that whatever you're wearing kind of separates or creates a natural barrier between your face and your body. You can do that. That's kind of what happened with this hoodie. And that's just, kind of luck of the draw, depending on the photo that you're using. Or you can use kind of the jaw line or hair, because a lot of people have longer hair. You can use that to kind of describe where, your face separates from your neck. I hope this kind of reads as hair. That's what I was going for. And we all, of course, have already finished our hair. So maybe you can manipulate that hair a little bit to show your chin, which is what I did here. So there's no, obviously, hair that comes up on this little spike over here that kind of outlines this person's chin. But I went ahead and used a little bit of artistic license and brought that line a little bit further out so that you could see that there was a chin there. Also kind of cheated a little bit and added a little shape over here that kind of shows where cheekbones are. And after doing that, I think it looks like this person's face is not floating in a cream colored background, but it is in fact separate from the rest. So these are two different ways of doing it. This is an eye example, so you don't need that. Here's another example. There's no, right, this person's hair is up, it's not flowing down, so it doesn't help you kind of show where the chin separates from the neck. So what I did is add in these little spikes. Are common in all of the vector drawings that I do of people, just to kind of show there's a natural shadow that's created under like your jawbone and your neck in a lot of people, and most people I would say. And I just went ahead and accentuated that a little bit so that you could tell where this person's chin ends and where their neck begins. So it's at least has a little bit of context. It's still kind of a floating head. It would require a little bit of work, in my opinion. However, at least you can tell where this person's like the bottom of their face ends, which is helpful. Catch Me Outside Girl, yeah, another hair kind of situation where there was a shadow under her chin, and I just kind of blended it in with her hair in the background, and I think it works. Same thing, like neck to like upper chest area, and even kind of showing where the shoulder is as well over here on the side. So you can use like a little bit of, I don't know, it's not forgery, but you can use a little bit of artistic license, right, to illustrate parts of, you know, the person that aren't necessarily there, but you can kind of use this kind of technique to do that. There's another bad example. There's a scarf here in the original photograph that kind of does that, but you can see where, right, this person's face and chin is slightly detailed right there. So there's a little spiky line that comes across that is clearly different from the hair, which kind of serves to outline the person's face. So there's that example. And if you happen to be really lucky and have a beard, you can kind of, it is a floating head, right? So this face is not in context with anything else, but the beard kind of shows you where the face ends and where, the chin ends as well. So if you're fortunate enough to have some crazy facial hair, you can use that technique as well. So just a couple of different ways to do that. I believe that's the last one. Yes. So those are my examples. Obviously, those are just one of, very many ways of solving this problem. I would just really, really advocate above all else that you stay away from using just lines, right? So don't use lines. Try not to use lines. Let's try to use shapes, generally speaking, because we've already started using shapes for the hair. And I don't want to kind of mix up those two aesthetics. So we're going to be working with shapes instead of lines, just because I think it elevates your artwork a little bit when you're not simply drawing with a line, but you are able to draw with shapes that have different weights, right? Different sizes. It's more dynamic, and it takes your art to a next level. So that's, as designers, we usually want to work in shapes, not lines. And that's what we're kind of trying to do now. So, do y'all have any questions about anything we just talked about?